Hello and welcome to the SciFirst MovieTalk episode. So in this episode I'm discussing the sequel to one of the most phenomenal hits of the last few decades, 2009's Avatar, with the 2022 follow-up and equally as impressive Avatar, The Way of Water, once again as directed by James Cameron himself. The original Avatar was simply a groundbreaking achievement in terms of the technology used to bring Cameron's vision to life, and its follow-up is no exception. Coming some 13 years following the original, in order to get that kind of the look and the feel of this movie kind of just right, a whole host of new technology and filming techniques had to be developed, particularly for the film's extensive use of underwater cinematography, which, I have to say, produces yet again another simply mind-blowing cinema experience. Once again, we venture into the miraculous and beautifully insane world of Pandora, a moon orbiting a gas giant within the Alpha Centauri star system, where previously humans working for the Resource Development Administration had attempted to forcibly remove the planet's indigenous people from their homes, in order to mine one of the planet's most valuable resources, unobtainium. The sequel picks up the events, following the events, if you like, of the original over a decade later, where we find the original's protagonists, Jake Sully, as played by Sam Worthington, and Nateri, as played by Zoe Zalander, now raising a family as part of the Na'vi Amatakaya clan, where Jake was proclaimed their leader following his heroic acts, forcing the human invaders to retreat back to Earth. However, their peace is soon shattered when the humans once again invade, this time with an armada, and a grudge to settle with Jake for leading the rebellion against them in the first place, which puts his family and the Amatakai tribe at risk as the humans, wish to and hunt Jake down to remove him from the equation. So, Jake uproots his family from their forest home and finds refuge among the, and I hope I get this right, Metkayina clan, the seafaring people of Pandora who live scattered among the moon's vast swathes of ocean islands. However, no matter where Jake runs, it seems there is no escape, and soon he is once again finds himself in a battle for survival. Only this time, it's his family that are caught in the crosshairs. So, to say I was excited to take another step into the world of Pandora would be a complete understatement. I have been waiting with a bated breath for a sequel to Cameron's original sci-fi opera ever since the original was released. And so hearing more and more about the effort, the involvement and the technology used for the sequel over the past 13 years, I was literally drooling when I walked into the cinema, seeking out the biggest screen I could in the area, and for me, I couldn't have been happier with that result. Cameron has once again proved he can create a spectacle like no other, and that his vision for Pandora knows no bounds. Story-wise, it's in the same vein as the original. I can't deny that. There's nothing really, anything special here, but this gives way so that you can kind of wallow in its total exuberance and visual splendour. And again, like its predecessor, yield a truly immersive cinematic experience that pushes new boundaries and expectations. This time around, we are treated to the aquatic biomes of Pandora with breathtaking finesse. The world below the oceans is as vast and enriched as that above, and Cameron's love for this world is rendered once again in absolutely fine detail. I would admit, as the first act kind of opened up, I had my concerns. The human invasion was a nice touch. It was interesting to kind of see such an invasion being on the other foot, so to speak. This time around, the humans were the aliens, intent on taking the moon's resources for themselves. So, that was quite an epic start. Let's just say that we don't have any better kind of mentality than most of the other marauding hordes that have ever been put to celluloid before. We're not exactly showing ourselves to be this shining example of the universe, However, the story kind of seemed to drift for a while as we kind of re-established characters and built up the connectivity. But then, I mean, wow. When we opened up into the seas, simply amazing. Toto, we're definitely back on Pandora. Now, there were parts, especially as we kind of lead into the final act, that felt very much like a rehash of some of Cameron's earlier work. I felt very much like we had kind of ventured back onto the Titanic, if Titanic was indeed an action movie. You can tell that Cameron really went to town here and did a few things that a drama movie perhaps limited. It can be pretty relentless, but indeed very much feeling of being there, done that, but outstanding nonetheless. I wouldn't say it's as final as the original either. The ending is still extremely satisfying, but this time around, given the third in the series has actually already been made, as this went out, the story has more of a continuation element to it. There are kind of these breadcrumbs throughout, kind of both linking into the first movie and extending the story for future chapters to come. Still, nothing kind of feels forced, but as a result, I did find that story-wise, there were a few things that kind of just kept bugging me, But I'll leave them alone. I won't go to town, but and I'll kind of see how they pan out, I think they were set up as kind of these breadcrumbs, like I said, for future installments. And so elements don't always seem like they fit. Cameron hasn't left any stone unturned yet, so I have faith that all will be explained as we move forwards. They can just be a bit frustrating. It does take an interesting tack to kind of bring us the magic and anticipation of the first. Even though, we've got to know Pandora by now, there's still so many more surprises to be had. And it uses some of the new characters and perhaps a couple of surprising returnees to still bring the wonder back and that total sense of awe. The movie builds on what we've already learned about the moon of Pandora, its people and their interactions with the natural world. Only this time, we enter the stunning and captivating biome of the moon's Oceania, with the same level of detail, if not even more, than we experienced in the first time around. The movie truly sets new bounds in terms of visual quality. Again, everything is pristine, and the underwater sequences are like nothing I've ever seen before. It is seamless. They say in the movie that the water surrounds, it's boundless, it knows no limits. And this is how the movie makes you feel. We are placed front and centre once again into this immersive environment, full of wondrous spectacle and some absolutely amazing creatures to add to the collection. It does feel more character-driven, especially with reference to the younger Na'vi. We explore this new world through their eyes, which offers a very distinctively charming way to kind of re-experience and re-immerse ourselves into the often dangerous but exceedingly beautiful world of Pandora. And that's exactly what Cameron provides once more. Wide-eyed wonder, another totally indulgent movie, Cameron style. Exceedingly detailed beauty, connectivity, and brimming with crowd-pleasing bluster and bravado. It also definitely continues its strong environmental messages, and the human impact is visually striking against the wondrous and vibrant Pandora. Devastatingly so at times, and it will be interesting, to see how this kind of pans out as we further progress throughout the story. It certainly doesn't put the human race in a good light, and some of the scenes are pretty shocking in this respect. I have kind of tried not to kind of simply just repeat my review for the first movie, but much I've already stated for the original Avatar does actually stand for this. Cameron continues to weave his magic and exert his command to simply place us right into his mind's eye. His unique vision for Pandora, which brings to life in a way that simply mesmerizes and bewitches its audience. As you can probably tell, especially me. A very worthy sequel indeed. In terms of the score this time around, one thing for me, Simon Fraglin does a great job at bringing the themes of Avatar back to our ears once more. However, I can't deny James Horner was greatly missed here. Fraglin continued to embody his flavour and style and that of Pandora, but it just didn't seem all that it perhaps could have been. But then that's probably just me, as I'd been kind of spoilt with Horner's score for the last movie, so on balance it was pretty decent. Overall, Cameron reminds us why we loved Pandora back in 2009. The adventure he took us on and brings us back to relive those first moments we felt stepping out onto Pandora for that first time. This time, however, giving us a brand new biome to explore. And in all its extravagantly immersive textures and connectivity. I'm not going to lie, it's pretty similar to the first, but then personally, that's why I love it. It really does feel like we're back on Pandora, immersed in all its visual splendour, but indeed, it doesn't stray too far from the expected norms. But once again, it's the visuals that completely blow you away more than anything else. Put it this way, the movie is such an experience that even the fact that I had a row of kids kicking my chair relentlessly for the full 3 hours of the movie's runtime, it did not deter me from feeling like I was right there in the movie myself. Well, perhaps it was the new IMAX 4DX experience. So, that brings me to the end of this episode. Many thanks for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please leave a like. Please do hit that subscribe button for more movie reviews, show reactions and other movie-related content. Absolutely loved having you at SciFirst MovieTalk and definitely love to have you back. Most of all, just thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.